I'd see him sitting on that couch all day long, just staring at that Hollywood hogwash.
Our favorite show was Hollywood Hogwash.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Hollywood Hogwash. I'm Andrew Pisano, along with Josh Reese.
What is up, guys? How's it going today, Andrew?
Well, we celebrated Halloween a little early.
Just a smidge.
We just watched the finale of the trilogy, Halloween Ends, and look, the ratings were really bad. Yeah, we also have other stuff to talk about. No, so Rotten.
If you like ghostly figures, there's probably a more ghostly figure, a better figure in House of Dragon.
Well, this is not about ghosts. It's about a serial murderer. There's no ghosts in Halloween Ends.
Well, I'm just saying, like a ghostly visage. You know?
Yeah. So apparently, like, fans of the Halloween franchise, like horror fans that love these Halloween movies, hated this movie. I understand why. I'm not going to spoil anything here yet. I understand why they did. I thought some parts were good, some parts were bad, but we're going to talk about that later and really get into Halloween Ends, because it certainly was interesting the direction they took for the finale.
Plus, you just have to stay tuned for, one of Josh's first horror movies he's ever seen.
Wow.
So, that's just interesting in itself, right?
Oh, yeah. We'll see how Josh did. Here's a spoiler. Not well.
Listen,
that movie was not scary at all.
I've handled jump cuts. Jump cuts don't scare me no more.
More.
But the other stuff, maybe a little bit.
When it gets a little gory, that's when he
a little bit.
He puts his head on my shoulder, and there's still some fucking drool, which you did it. You drooled all over.
Shut up.
You drooled all over my Jets shirt, who are now 4-2 after a 3-game winning streak.
Andrew,
holding Aaron Rodgers to 10 points. Jets, Jets.
This is not a Jets podcast. This is a podcast about TV, movies, and entertainment.
The Jets were on national TV today, and they smoked Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
That's
TV. It's relevant.
That might have been a better movie than Halloween Ends.
Yeah, it was definitely a better movie. Jets beating the Packers, that's a 10 out of 10, baby. So, all right, before we get to Halloween Ends, let's talk about the latest news and rumors known as the Hollywood Hogwash. This one is really cool if it's true, and everyone's running with it. Slash Film reports that Harrison Ford is joining the MCU as Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh, shit.
Did you see
hear
this?
about that, too.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of excited if it's true.
Oh, my God. If he becomes Red Hulk.
Right.
William Hurt formerly played the character until his death earlier this year.
Right.
He played the role great. But I feel like they were never going to do it unless... Like, if it was him. Now that they have Harrison Ford, it's like, well, okay. You have to make the role bigger. My only thing is, Harrison Ford is 80 years old.
Sure, but
he's older than William Hurt.
They do a great job at de-aging. Samuel L. Jackson's really old.
Well, I'm not saying you have to de-age Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford looks great for his age. He doesn't look 80 years old. He looks like he's fucking 60 or something.
Right.
But still, I'm saying, like, what if he dies soon? And you started this whole thing. He's 80. Come on now.
Harrison Ford's going to live forever.
Oh, sure, maybe.
Forever.
But rumor has it that he's going to appear in Captain America: New World Order.
Yeah.
And will eventually become the Red Hulk, which is so interesting because after what we saw in She-Hulk, don't worry, no spoilers. They're, they definitely teased a future Hulk movie that I feel like they have to do now.
Right.
And hopefully they'll do it well. I don't know.
It does seem like the Hulk universe is expanding, and it does have room for a Red Hulk, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo versus Harrison Ford. That's going to be interesting.
Sign me up. Take all my money, sir.
I want to see the behind-the-scene footage of Harrison Ford in those fucking CGI costumes that they have to wear. Why did he agree? He hated Star Wars.
No, he agreed for all the delicious money he's making now.
He has enough money. What more money does he need?
But the one
he
thing,
has so many franchises that he has so much money from.
He's played a gangster star crazy man in Star Wars. You know, but he's yet to play a superhero. Or
he's a villain.
Or villain, you know. He's yet to take on that role.
Has he played a villain ever? Like, when has he ever played a
Technically,
villain?
Harrison Ford in the first Star Wars movie was kind of villainous.
He was not a villain.
Kind of villain.
He was not a villain.
Maybe a little bit.
But he's
trick Luke.
But he's not. But he wasn't. He was one of the main protagonists. I don't know if Ford's ever played a villain in like a bit, maybe in some smaller movie that made no money. But yeah, I'm not sure about that. But it's definitely exciting. It's exciting because Harrison Ford is great.
Yeah, and it's a really big name too. You know, it's kind of neat to hear someone attached like that.
What did you find? Oh, that was what I was thinking of. Yeah, he was the bad guy in the M. Night Shyamalan movie, What Lies Beneath.
Never saw it.
I never saw it either, but I heard the spoiler that like that was the big twist, and fuck you, it was 22 years ago.
Has Harrison Ford ever played a villain in a movie or two?
So that was it for one of the shittier M. Night Shyamalan movies.
Yeah, wow. Just once? Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no, I mean, this is a perfect role for him. I just hope he lives to play it.
He will! Stop putting that out in the universe, Andrew. Harrison Ford's going to live to be 105.
I'm just surprised he took it because he always shits on Star Wars about how much he hated it.
Yeah.
And now you're doing the MCU, which is basically Star Wars.
On the actor checklist, isn't the MCU part of the actor checklist now?
I guess. We need like
you're not a real actor until you're a superhero.
We need like Denzel Washington, Leonardo DiCaprio to get in on this.
Right.
Like some of the greatest actors ever. Robert De Niro could play someone. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, moving on. There's also a big rumor going around that Spider-Man 4 will star Tom Holland and will release on July 12th of 2024. They're saying the film will most likely focus on a street-level story and will handle the aftermath of Daredevil Born Again.
Ooh. That doesn't sound very great. Because
we haven't seen the Daredevil show yet.
We haven't seen it yet, but we're not very high on it, especially given what happened in She-Hulk.
But with this rumor, fans are thinking that maybe Spider-Man's going to show up in the Daredevil show, which I'm not so sure about that. But I think maybe Daredevil and Spider-Man, we're both going to be in the next Spider-Man movie. Obviously, Daredevil had a cameo in the last Spider-Man movie. It would be cool to see the two of them. Because Spider-Man always has, in the Tom Holland movies, in the three, he always has a father figure. It's Tony Stark, and then Nick Fury, and then Doctor Strange. Right. So maybe in this one, it'll be Daredevil.
That'd be interesting. Mac Murdock as a father. Okay.
Father figure, yeah. But my question is, like, what about the black symbiote? I mean, they hinted at that at the end of No Way Home.
They have. I've also seen a couple.
So you have to do that.
That apparently, I guess they are Ned, or maybe they're thinking about turning Ned as a villain. Maybe
that's because he becomes like Hobgoblin in one of the comics.
Yeah, so I've seen some stuff.
But again, there's like 5 people that become Hobgoblin, so it's not like
for sure.
He's not the original Hobgoblin either. But yeah, they could. I don't know about that. Ned's too lovable. I don't know if that would work.
Well, it's still a long ways off too. Who knows what?
Like they could have done that as. I mean, they joked about it in the movie.
Right.
But they could have, with all the multiverse shit, they could have had a joke where, like, an evil Ned shows up and is like, what the fuck? But, they didn't do that.
So, Daredevil is in 23 or 24?
24, I
24.
believe.
So, this won't come out till 25, 26?
No. Well, it says that this rumors that Spider-Man 4 will come out in July of 2024. Yeah.
So, would that be in the middle? Oh, I guess it would be after, because remember, it's going to be 18 episodes of Daredevil, and they're going to come out weekly, right?
18 or 19, something like that.
Yeah, something like
18, that. 18, yeah, you're right.
Something ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 2024, but it'll probably be like the beginning of 2024.
Okay, and I guess that could stretch to July.
Yeah, it'll only take a few months.
But dovetail right into one from the other. I could see that. Something like that.
Or it could be delayed, like so many of these MCU films.
For sure.
Blade was moved from November 3rd, 2023 to Deadpool's original slot of September 26th, 2024. That's almost a year. That's 10 months.
Right.
Thankfully, Deadpool was only pushed back 2 months to November 8th, 2024. But obviously, the way things are going, it could get pushed back even more.
For sure.
So basically, everyone took everyone else's spot. Like Fantastic Four was moved to February 14th, 2025. And then Avengers Secret Wars is now coming out May 1st, 2026.
2026.
4 years from now.
Damn, we've got a lot of stuff to lead up until then.
The only thing they didn't change was the Kang Dynasty, which I think that's coming out in 2025 still.
The Kang Dynasty is still staying the same?
For now.
Okay.
Yeah, 2025.
So next is Secret Invasion, right?
The show, yeah.
The show. And then after that, it's Quantum Mania. And I'm really looking forward to Quantum Mania because I think we're going to get more Kang in Quantum Mania too.
Oh, yeah. Apparently he's the main villain.
Yeah, so I love Kang. So I need,
Kang.
I need some more of that in my life.
All right, on to DC. So while doing press for Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson was asked if Black Adam will eventually fight Superman in the DCEU. And he said, absolutely. That's the whole point of this. There's a new era in the DC universe that's about to begin. And also, that's the big rumor about Black Adam, which we're going to cover next week, is that Superman showing up at the end. Or in a post-credit scene.
I would.
Henry Cavill will return as Superman. Which is apparently why they didn't announce it at any of the Comic-Cons.
So it'd be a big shock when it actually does happen.
Right. And it's kind of, they're kind of doing it as like, you know, the worst kept secret. Because it's getting, you know, like I think
it's
they're
starting
leaking
to get
it.
out there.
They're leaking it on purpose. And also, The Rock is like also leaking stuff on his social media about the film.
Mm-hmm. Listen, if anything, give The Rock some reins to the DCEU, you know?
Yeah.
Let him have a little piece of that. So, because he seems to really enjoy this Black Adam character.
Right.
You know, and I'm down with somebody that really is enthusiastic about it. I want DC to be great.
Well, this will probably,
hasn't been.
I mean, because it's The Rock and it's a superhero movie, I would imagine this will be the first $100 million opening weekend that the movie theaters have had in a while. Because we haven't had a big movie come out since what, July? Like, what was the last big movie that made $100 million?
Maybe?
Top Gun. There was one after Top Gun, I remember.
Certainly wasn't Everywhere All at Once. Everything.
No, that did not make $100 million, but it was still the best movie of the fucking year.
Still a really good movie, for sure.
Let me see here. I'm going back to, there was really nothing in August. Bullet Train was August, early August.
That might have made one globally.
Right. Oh, Thor Love and Thunder was after Top Gun.
Okay.
Yeah, so that obviously made a lot of money. But this will be like the biggest movie since, and that was quite a while ago.
For sure. Our summer blockbuster in October.
Yeah. And then Deadline reports that Sony has purchased the rights to a movie about the GameStop short squeeze from early last year. And Seth Rogen and Paul Dano are starring in the film.
Oh, I want to see it.
I mean, when you put those guys, especially Seth Rogen.
I lost money.
I'm going to buy GameStop.
I lost money on the GameStop squeeze.
I made like a few $100.
No,
that was
man, I totally lost
it.
money.
Like $300.
Damn, I bought in when it got. I think I bought in when it was like $300. I was like, this is going to the moon, man.
I feel like this is going to be like a lot like The Big Short movie, you know?
I could see that.
Because just like The Big Short, there was a lot of corruption involved, and no one got in trouble for completely corrupting the stock market. And I'm not talking about like the normal people that drove up the GameStop price. I mean, all the corporations and all the billionaires that were shorting them, and they lost so much money, and then eventually just got all the fucking websites to not allow anyone to buy any more GameStop stock.
Right.
That is corruption at the finest, including the Mets owner. He was involved in that whole fucking thing.
Right.
So I kind of hate him for that.
Wasn't he one of the main figures too? Wasn't it like one of his holding companies or something like that?
Yeah.
Was the one that they were trying to squeeze?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So obviously Seth Rogen is going to be the internet troll. Right?
Hopefully.
So maybe Paul Dano is the Mets owner? Or?
I don't know. No, neither of them are old enough to play the Mets owner.
Or maybe he's one of the hedge fund managers?
Who even knows if the Steve Cohen will be in this movie, or portrayed.
But yes, I want to see this.
That was a really tough time for me because He owns the Mets, and he's spending a lot of money to make them better, and they certainly are. But also, that motherfucker cost me probably like $1,000 by doing this. So this motherfucker cost me money.
Yeah. Andrew, you're not the only one that lost a bunch of money in that day.
Well, I didn't. I still came out on top. But I mean, I could have made a lot more if he didn't fuck us all over. That was the thing.
I lost.
Yeah, I mean, I think I had 4 shares and I made $300. That's ridiculous.
That's
and I should have made
good.
like $1,000.
Yeah, that's
I had friends
good.
that had so much more stock in it too. That's
my
what's crazy.
cousin bought in at $20 and ended up selling at like 400 or something like that.
Well, he sold at the perfect time.
He sold at the top
because that was the top.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't last for long.
No,
man.
Yeah,
good for him. So moving on, Deadline reports that Martin Scorsese is attached to an upcoming TV series based on his 2002 film Gangs of New York.
That's a movie I still need to watch.
Which I really like the movie. I mean,
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel
right?
Day-Lewis is amazing. I'm pretty sure he won an Oscar for that one. But the series will focus on new characters that did not appear in the movie.
So this is going to be a TV show just based on that movie. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's
in that world.
It's loosely based on a true story.
Okay.
But like the movie Amsterdam that we watched last week,
one scene might be true.
Well, I think there was a lot more true in Gangs of New York. I think there were a lot more true in every movie than Amsterdam. Amsterdam made up so much shit.
There might be more true in She-Hulk than
maybe. Yeah. But that's interesting. I don't know why it's necessarily necessary, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. Okay. And then starting November 3rd, Netflix will now offer a basic with ads tier that will stream in 720p and cost only $7 a month.
So is this going to be $7 a month? Okay, so you're still going to have access to everything.
Yeah,
but you're going to have to pay with ads.
You have to watch some ads. Like Paramount Plus has that.
Sure.
Hulu has that.
Right.
A couple others do.
But it's interesting. So 720p, you're not going to be able to watch in high def.
Well, that's still high def. Technically, 720 is still high def, but it's not high def.
Okay.
It's not 1080.
I thought 1080 was high def. Okay.
It is, but it's just better.
Better. Okay.
Yeah, but technically 720 is still high def. If you're watching on your phone, it's not noticeable.
Okay.
Which
most people do nowadays anyways.
Right. But yeah, $7 a month, which I think is like more than half the price.
Yeah, they're still trying to find ways to squeeze that money out of people.
Right.
Yeah.
Deadline reports that Liam Neeson is currently in talks to star in a Naked Gun reboot with Lonely Island's Akiva Schaffer directing the film. So I love those old Naked Gun movies. Leslie Nielsen is amazing. He's hilarious.
You think they'll bring back O.J. Simpson?
Yes, probably. He's available. Just give me a call. But I don't. Liam Neeson. In the Leslie Nielsen role. That's what I was
thinking. The anti Leslie Nielsen is Liam Neeson.
Yeah,
he's anti, like way opposite. That's
crazy. I don't. And when does Liam Neeson do like comedy roles?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's what the joke. Maybe that's what they're hoping the joke is. It's like no one could think you could do this, but maybe you'll do a great job.
So according to Deadline, plot details are still being kept under wraps, except that Neeson might be playing the son of Detective Frank Durbin.
Okay.
So interesting.
Right.
So he had a child out of wedlock.
Those movies are so great, though.
They were so wacky. I hope it could try to capture some of that wackiness.
I practice safe sex. So do I. And then they're just in 2 giant condoms. It was amazing. Yeah, those movies are great.
Yeah, see, but I can't picture Liam Neeson doing that.
That's the thing is like, now everything is a reboot. It doesn't need to be rebooted. It's not going to be better.
No,
but it is Lonely Island. It's Lonely Island, so maybe there's a chance. Maybe Andy Samberg will be in it too.
Oh, that would be funny.
Yeah. I mean, I could see Andy Samberg doing that role. Like as the son,
So he was in Men in Black. I guess that's kind of a comedy. Liam Neeson.
What are you talking about? Where?
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, and like a small. No. This is the Men in Black International movie that no one fucking saw. with Thor and Valkyrie.
Million Ways to Die in the West.
Yeah, but these are all small roles.
Okay. Well, yeah. He's never been a lead.
These are small roles. He didn't star in Men in Black. He didn't star in Million Ways to Die in the West. He had like 1 or 2 scenes in Ted 2, but where he basically played his character from Taken.
He was an Anchorman too?
Yeah.
Was he? Okay.
At the fight at the end.
I guess technically a comedy, but yeah, small role.
Yeah, but he wasn't the funny part in that scene. But yeah, so we'll see how that is. And then my last thing is Collider is reporting that the Oregon Trail educational game, you played that, right?
Uh-huh.
A lot of people our age did. It's being turned into a movie musical.
Then musical.
So remember when the Battleship movie came out?
Oh, right. Yes.
There are these YouTubers, I forgot their names, but they made some videos that were really great. And they were mocking the fact that like movies about board games are coming out now. Mm-hmm. And so they made a trailer for a Monopoly movie, which was like Tron, but Monopoly. And then they also did an Oregon Trail movie.
Oh,
so like if you go on
man.
YouTube and type like Oregon Trail trailer, you might see it.
That's funny.
But it was actually really funny. And now it's happening.
Listen, I could see an Oregon Trail movie. I have a hard time picturing an Oregon Trail musical. So many people die of hysteria. I don't know how you could turn that into a musical.
Of what?
Isn't hysteria when they shit their pants? Right? Isn't that how most
Dysentery?
Dysentery. Isn't dysteria one of the ways they died too? I can't remember. I think it is. A lot of people were killed by Native Americans. A lot of people were stomped by the buffalo and drowned in the water. I don't know. That seems like a dark game to turn into a musical.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, dysentery was like I'm pretty sure it was dysentery in the
Dysentery?
game. Yeah.
Maybe not
That's
dysentery.
when you shit yourself to death.
Right. Oh, what a terrible way. I'm shitting myself.
You get infected.
Yeah.
We're not the smartest people, but
No.
no, the trailer's really funny. Like it's like, what are you going to be when you grow up? And it's like, oh, I'm going to be a banker. And it's like, oh, you're a father's carpenter. You'll always be. And he's like, nobody wants to be the carpenter. Because in the game you choose what your occupation is
or whatever. Mm-hmm.
No, we're talking about Oregon.
Oh! I thought you were talking about
like what you have to choose what your job is. Remember your job title?
Oh, it's been a long time since I played it.
And there's like banker, carpenter. I think there's like something else, but yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
What do you have?
I just got 2 things. Just a quick update on She-Hulk.
What? No, it's over. We don't need an update.
Just a quick update. Apparently, season 2 seems like it might not be happening, which we kind of theorized.
Oh my! Wait! Oh, that's fantastic.
Tatiana Maslany.
I'm orgasming at the fact at that news.
She was quoted with extra saying, if the Kevin seems to be very dismissive of this idea, so if we're basing this off the real Kevin,
Well, don't spoil anything here.
it doesn't seem likely.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, because she's moving into fucking movies. They're gonna put her in the MCU movies now.
Maybe so. The only other thing I got is that the boys are getting 2 new cast members.
Oh yes, I did see this.
Sister Sage and Firecracker. I looked both of them up. They don't seem to be actual characters in the boys' comics.
Okay.
So they seem to be characters that are just made for the show. So
Right. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't look them up because then you're gonna get spoilers on what happens.
well, it's just kind of interesting to see like what their powers are or whatever. But there's there's nothing known about them.
Yeah.
So-
Sure, we'll get that early next year. When did The Boys season 3 come out?
Early this
Like
year,
May or?
Well, yeah, I guess so. I guess it was in the summer sometime. But yeah,
Think so.
they're all working on season 4 right now, so I'm kind of interested and really excited about that.
Oh yeah.
The Boys is... And when is Invincible coming out? I need my Invincible season 2.
Yeah, The Boys was in June. So yeah, it's still a ways away. I'm sure
Still a ways
it'll
away.
probably come out in June of next year, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Invincible. I think we said a while back that they were working on it.
They're already working on season 3.
Yeah.
But where's my season 2? That's what I need.
Well, I'm sure we'll get it soon. I don't think anything's been announced yet. No. I mean, according to IMDb, it says 2023. Hope that's not the case.
I hope that's not the case, too.
Although there's only a few months left in this year.
That's true, unless it's like January it comes out or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right, let's talk about the biggest movie of this week, really.
We're just going to totally skip over the House of Dragons? I mean, we should talk about it at least a little bit. I mean, come on. It was a really good
said
episode.
We'll recap it. No, everyone's here. We're not going to be a week late on the show.
Well, okay.
We'll talk about the season finale when it happens. Like, as we're recording this, the last episode happened. We haven't even watched it yet. No.
Oh, Andrew.
Let's talk Halloween Ends.
Because people are so interested in Halloween Ends. It wasn't that great of a movie, guys.
Yeah, but
I didn't like it.
Horror films, there's a lot of fans of horror films of our podcast.
Yeah.
So, of course, we have to see it. So very interesting how they did this movie, focusing on a new serial killer rather than Michael. It was not marketed this way at all. We didn't even know this character existed from the trailers.
Well, I mean, I guess that's a good thing. You know, you get a little bit of surprise.
I was really hoping it would have been like Laurie and Michael, like fighting the entire movie, like multiple scenes.
Well, Andrew, they're 7 years old. They can't do that.
That's what they've been doing this whole fucking series.
Has it? I don't know. This is my first entry into this.
I mean, it doesn't matter. They've been doing all that. That's what it's been about. It's about two 60-something-year-old people. I guess Michael's a little younger than her, but still. Yeah, or I don't know. Yeah, I guess they're the same age, right? Yeah. I'm not a big Halloween guy either. Like, I haven't seen most of these movies over the years. I think there's been like 10 Halloween movies over the last 40 years.
Really? I thought you said this was a trilogy.
It is. It's a new trilogy.
Oh, Jesus.
What do you think? This is a trilogy from 40 years ago when the first movie came out?
I was unsure about anything about this franchise. Yeah,
Right.
no.
Okay.
I came into this movie knowing nothing, so I was very confused about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why this town celebrates Halloween when apparently every Halloween they seem to have really horrible things happen.
Not every Halloween, but
It
certainly
seems
lately.
terrible. You know, after a couple Halloweens of bad shit happening, you think as a town you would just kind of celebrate a different holiday.
Well, you would think Laurie, of all people, wouldn't celebrate it.
For sure, yeah.
But she's all up in there. So, yeah, the opening scene was really dumb. We have these shitty parents are like, well, you know, we want to go out and party on Halloween. Like, screw our son celebrating Halloween and taking him trick-or-treating. We're going to leave our son with a 21-year-old man.
Yeah, that's
to
weird.
babysit.
I'm going to admit that's a little bit weird, but I guess they knew this man. You know, he came around and mowed the yard, and I guess he'd been maybe a family friend.
You could find someone else. I don't care. I would never let any man that I kind of know babysit my children. That's crazy.
I'm not babysitting anymore.
You never have. Oh. If anything, he babysits you. My God. He could probably make breakfast better than you can.
That's true. I can't make breakfast very well.
So yeah, like this kid's an asshole, and he locks him in the attic, and then Corey, the babysitter,
he grabbed the knife too. There was a knife on the counter.
Yeah.
Where I guess he was. The
kid did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the kid took the knife. Was the kid going to stab him?
No,
Why
he
did
was
take
just
the knife
scaring
to begin
him.
with?
He was just scaring him because he
guess.
said Michael Myers is going to come after you.
The kid was a total asshole.
But then Corey kicks the door open, and the kid goes flying over the railing to fall like 3 stories to his death. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was ridiculous.
There's no one on Earth walking in.
There's no one on this Earth that can kick a child with a door to where he goes flying that far and over the railing.
Oh, yeah, no.
That's just the most ridiculous thing.
If anything, the kid just crumples right there.
Yeah. So the kid falls to his death, and the rest of the movie takes place 4 years after that and after Halloween Kills, and we have Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie, writing a book about all of her, interactions with Michael, so she's profiting off of it now.
I know, what an asshole.
Or plans to.
Everyone in this movie's an asshole.
Pretty much. So then, like, some teenagers bully Corey. No. Corey and Laurie comes to his defense.
Some marching band dweebs.
Is that what they really were?
They were marching band. Yes. Yeah, I guess they were trying not to do the prototypical football football players.
It was still like your average high school bullies in the Letterman jackets.
It's so weird. It was so
You know,
weird.
hey, I heard you killed that kid. Man, you're a real piece of shit. And then Corey, who's 25 now.
Something 25, yeah.
25 is drinking his chocolate milk. and then he squeezes it and cuts himself with the fucking chocolate milk.
Yeah.
And then Lori tells him to slash the teenager's tires, and Corey does it, which is interesting because Lori's kind of the one that set him down this dark path to begin with.
Right. Yeah, he was trying to hold his anger in.
Yeah.
She told him to release it.
So it is kind of her fault. And they kind of make that a point in the movie that, like, Michael is also her fault because she teased him. I guess that's from the first fucking movie. I did watch the original. I did watch the original last year, and I didn't like it. I thought it was not good. But yeah. So then where are we at? Lori's granddaughter, Allison, fixes him up.
Yeah.
She fixes up Corey and hits on him, and Lori really wants them to fuck.
Right, well, it was weird. Like, the doctor was like, hey, isn't she kind of cute?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, what the fuck? And the doctor turns out to be a creepy dude.
Yeah. And Lori's like, just take out your tits and titty fuck him. Right? I think that's what she
so
said.
Weird. And she's like, yeah, just take out your tits and, show the world who's boss.
Yeah. So Corey goes to a Halloween party with Allison. However, the kid's mom is there. The dead kid's mom is there.
Still dressed in the same outfit.
Yeah.
It looks like that she, when she came in and found her dead son, like she had never taken it off.
Yes, and she never changed out of it. No. Why is she at a fucking
teenager?
Teeny. Well, I guess they're in their early 20s, but still, like, why are you at a club, you 60-year-old woman?
She's trying to drink the pain away, Andrew. Drink the pain.
Go to a bar. I think she's looking for dick.
Maybe.
So
well, everyone in the show is looking for dick.
Movie. It's a movie, Josh. We watched the movie tonight.
It's a show.
It's a movie.
It's a show.
I don't know how you don't know the difference.
Movie show.
So yeah, she confronts him. She yells at him, and Corey leaves. And then the teenagers from earlier, the band kids, show up, and they bully Corey some more. And then Corey pulls out a pocket knife, and one kid's just like, yeah. He just easily knocks the knife out of his hands.
With this drumstick.
He's just holding it. And the guy goes, and then the pocket knife goes flying.
They make this guy look like such a dweeb. It's just crazy.
And then the other teen throws Corey off a bridge, and it was like a 15-foot drop, maybe. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And then we see Corey dragged into a sewer tunnel. And, of course, it's Michael Myers. He's been living in a sewer tunnel for 4 years. Not sure what that's about.
No, I mean...
Not sure why he's been living in this tunnel. From the last movie, he killed Lori's daughter and then went into hiding into this sewer. I mean, doesn't he want to kill Lori still? I don't know. I guess his plans were just to die in this sewer.
He's plotting and planning, apparently, very, very slowly.
And what is he eating? He's just eating rats in there? Or like feces, human feces?
Or whatever that old man was giving him, because I guess the old man was a gatekeeper, maybe?
Was he?
He seemed to think he was Michael Myers.
So Michael's plan was he's going to choke Corey to death, but then he looks into Corey's eyes, and I guess he sees himself. Because that becomes a point, too, where it's like he has Michael's eyes, Lori,
Yeah, that was the weirdest part of this movie. Like,
At first, I was like, is he seeing his memories? Because as he's choking him, we're seeing all the shit Corey did.
Right.
But no, he looked into his eyes and saw himself, and he's like, oh, he's a psycho like me. Cool. I have a friend now.
But he was never really a psycho until that moment. He had all this weird shit happen to him and everyone was picking on him. Maybe there was psycho inside of him, but until this Michael character started choking him, there was never really any rage inside of him.
I think he saw the pain in his eyes.
Maybe, I don't know. Like he transferred his power.
Or there's like the dead eyes. But
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a theory as well, that he transferred his power, which is, I mean... Michael Myers throughout these movies has always been supernatural. I mean, he gets shot in the chest a bunch of times. In the last one, in Halloween Kills, the entire community, like 20 people beat Michael Myers in the middle of the street. He's laying there dead. They shoot him in the chest a few times. They're like, well, that's it. How about you shoot him in the fucking brain? Yeah. Literally get a shotgun and blow his head off. And then he just gets up and murders all of them.
There's no planning in any of these things, I guess.
Yeah. So that homeless man then attacks Corey with a knife. We don't know why. He's just like, hey, Mike Myers is in there. Mike Myers, and he's just trying to stab Corey. But
he said he was Mike Myers.
Yeah, he said he was Mike Myers, and Corey stabs the old man to death. And then later, Laurie sees Corey staring at the house, and it reminds her of Michael. And then Corey takes Allison to the now abandoned house where the kid died. It never got sold, I guess. The blood stain is still there.
Blood stain. Oh, it's so weird.
And then some asshole cop harasses them at a diner.
Well, the asshole cop used to be, was it Lori? What was the granddaughter's name?
No, Allison.
It used to be Allison's boyfriend.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Because remember, one of the early scenes, her tailpipe was dragging, and he was still trying to kind of hit on her and stuff like that.
But
and she said she used to date an ex-cop. Or
when did she say
used
that?
to date a cop. I think she said that. Or maybe
I thought he was just trying, because he was like, you miss me? I thought he was just trying to get her. Why would she date some 45-year-old cop?
I think he was supposed to be 25.
I don't think that's the case.
I'm pretty sure.
It's not really important. He kind of harasses them, and then Corey scares the guy. And then she's all upset, and then she's like, let's burn it all to the ground. And the worst line in the movie, and he goes, I'll light the match.
So then
they fall for each other because they're both broken people. He accidentally killed a kid, and her parents were killed and all that. So the cop then follows Corey after he drops Allison off, and he drives to the sewer. And then Corey attacks the cop. He crawls into the sewer. The cop follows him.
Who would crawl into a sewer?
He's a cop going after a guy that assaulted him, but still, he followed him. So
sure, but
he was going to beat him up first.
He was also on, off duty.
Well, he didn't know Michael was in that sewer.
I guess, but listen, just out of common sense, you punch me, I'm not following you into a sewer. I know it's a trap. You got to have some common sense in these movies, right? No common sense. You don't follow someone to a sewer. You don't do it. That should be.
Well, they don't.
That should be horror movie.
These people.
101.
These people don't know that they're in a horror movie. That's the problem.
Well, they live in a horror movie. Everyone dies. They kept on showing images of people getting hanged and shot and all these different things.
The town is cursed.
I would have moved, to be honest, but
get the fuck out of there. It's just like Stranger Things. Why is everyone still living here? There's been so many years of this. Get out of get out.
It's I can't remember. I think it was a commercial and they were throwing fun at it or something like that. You hear an addict voice saying, "Get out of the house." All right, well, I'm leaving.
Oh, that's an Eddie Murphy joke.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, because he says, white people in these movies, they stay in the house. If black people moved in, be like, wow, what a beautiful home. Get out. Well, too bad we can't stay. All right, let's go.
That would be me. Apparently, Andrew would stay.
You're white too, buddy.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, Corey and Michael kill the cop together. Corey holds the cop as Michael stabs him to death. I don't know how the cop didn't notice Michael was right there. He had the best flashlight on earth.
Sure, and
the brightest flashlight ever.
How the knife was so long, and how did the knife not go through the cop and actually puncture the other guy too? It seems like
well, I would say that's ridiculous, but it happens later in the movie. So then Corey goes back to Allison. And Laurie sees them go upstairs together. Yeah. So we have Laurie watching them, but then we have Michael watching Laurie.
Everyone's watching everyone in this movie. And after every murder, this Corey guy gets horny as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
He is.
Well, that's how serial killers usually work. They get turned on by the murdering.
Well, see, my serial killer knowledge comes from Dexter. And Dexter was kind of asexual, so he didn't get off killing people. Well, he did get off killing people, but he never went to have sex afterwards. Dexter.
Well, he's different, I guess. Yeah. That's because he was a good serial killer, right?
He was a good serial killer. A serial killer with a heart.
He killed other serial killers, right?
Yes.
That was the thing. Mm-hmm. So they have sex. Laurie talks with the dad of the dead kid, and he said he saw Corey a few days ago, and he was planning on forgiving him, but then Corey freaked him out because he saw his dead eyes, basically. And then Allison's rival nurse is fucking her boss, and Allison's trying to get this promotion, But because the other nurse is fucking the doctor, she's getting the big promotion. And they go back to his house, and then it's funny because she goes and takes a shower, and then we hear the doctor screaming. And then she goes outside, and there's like, this is like where they actually did kind of a good job with the imagery. Like, you could barely see someone stabbing someone else. And then it ends up being Corey stabbing the doctor to death. And he's wearing his Halloween mask from the party, which is like a clown mask.
That's more terrifying than the Michael mask, to be honest.
Yeah.
If I saw someone killing somebody in that mask, I'd be really freaked out.
And then the girl gets away from him, but Michael is there to back him up. And Michael holds her up and stabs her so hard it goes through her stomach, through her back, and into the wall, and she just hangs there from a knife.
From a giant.
None of that makes any sense at all.
No.
Maybe if it was multiple knives.
But it was like this was kind of sweet. It was like a father-son type of thing.
Oh,
it was
so sweet.
Like a bonding moment between Michael and this Corey feller. But it just ended up going awry later in the movie. So I don't know. It was kind of weird.
Well, it's just, I mean, why fans are upset is because like Corey's almost like Corey's the main villain. Michael's kind of just there,
right?
Like, hey, I'll teach you my ways.
He's just there to show it's a Halloween movie,
right? So Corey and Allison get harassed by local radio hosts. They agree that they're going to leave the town together. Corey's mother yells at him and slaps him, and then like we see this whole scene where she's yelling at him like, go. Then the camera pans, and like the stepdad is just sitting there. Like watching TV.
She slaps Corey and then immediately kisses him on the lips. Like, what the fuck? And then
the stepdad's like, I hope you find love.
That didn't happen to me, son.
Well, I'm going to get you killed, so fuck you. So Corey wakes up in the abandoned house where he slept on the dried blood of the dead kid.
That's creepy.
So he's really embracing this
this
fucking
darkness.
Nuts.
He's brooding.
However, Lori was there waiting for him to wake up.
Also creepy.
And she tells him to stay away from Allison. And he says, if I can't have her, no one will. And then somehow Lori leaves like Batman without Corey noticing.
He looks up and she's gone.
Yeah.
She's 70 years old, but she moves.
She gave him an Irish goodbye, and he was just like, what the fuck?
Crazy.
I guess it was her way of trying to scare him. And then Corey tells Allison they need to leave tonight. Meet me at the diner later. And then Corey goes back to the sewer, easily beats up Michael, just pushes him down and steals his mask.
Right.
And there's got to be some other meaning behind that because
he was taking over the Michaelness.
He took his powers.
He took his, well, apparently not, but
they showed that Michael was weak earlier, but then later he lifts that girl, stabs her. So he does all that. Then back in the sewer, Corey easily manhandles him, which no one's ever been able to do, and takes his mask.
Maybe Michael transferred too much of his power through the one-hand choke.
Yeah, I mean, we know that Corey has some powers later because he gets shot and it barely hurts him. So Corey goes after, so Lori warns Allison, but Allison blames her for her parents and friends being killed. And
apparently it's true. She got a lot of people killed.
So Corey writes Psycho on the bully teen's car, and they chase after him. And he's really just luring them to the auto repair job that his stepdad owns, or is
I guess it's his stepdad.
I don't think he owns it because he works there Maybe works the night shift.
Night manager or something like that.
I guess.
Or maybe he just hates
he works security
so
there.
Much and just sends to get there.
So Corey starts killing them all while wearing the Michael mask, and the main bully accidentally shoots Corey's stepdad. He does it in a very Michael way because the stepdad sees Corey without the mask. Then he puts the mask on. He turns around. The bully's like, "Oh, it's Michael!" And then he accidentally shoots Corey's stepdad,
I saw it coming mile away.
Whoever.
Mile away.
Yeah, you said it 1 second before it happened. As it was happening.
It was crazy. I was like, "Oh, he's gonna die!" And then
wow! The teenagers that are getting murdered are gonna die.
10 seconds later, they all died. It was fucking crazy.
What a prediction!
Yeah, some of it was really terrifying too. I had to close my eyes. Some of those death scenes were a little bit too brutal for good old Josh here.
So Corey goes home, kills his mom, She's dead. We don't even get to see it happen. And then he goes to the radio host that was mean to them, and he kills him and some other girl.
Yeah.
Cuts his tongue off.
Another one had to close the eyes.
And then it lays there on the disc, causing it to fuck up.
That was kind of funny. Yeah, it ended up flopping off. It was,
Then Lori, back at home, she calls 911 and says, "I'd like to report a suicide."
Well, yeah, because, she had fucked up this relationship with her granddaughter, and I guess she thought, like, there's no one else in my life. I can't live with myself no more. So she opens up the safe, pulls out a gun, calls 911.
I didn't buy it at all because it was obvious that she could tell that Corey was there. So she tricked him. She calls 911, and then she puts the gun under her chin, and the camera pans away, and we hear a gunshot, and we see what we think is blood splatter. But really, she just shot a pumpkin. And then Corey walks in, and she says, "You really think I'd kill myself?" And that's where she shoots him in the chest twice. Mm-hmm. Then she wastes the rest of the bullets.
For fucking reasons unknown.
Well, you have to pay attention.
Go
So
ahead,
she
tell
tells
me.
him to kill her. Her plan was for Allison to come home and see Corey trying to kill her, so that she could prove to Allison, like, look, Corey's a fucking psycho. He's trying to kill me.
Couldn't she have just done that with the 2 bullet wounds and said that he tried to kill me?
No, because what happened next? Corey stabs himself in the neck, and then Allison walks in, and she thinks that Lori did it.
Sure.
Like, oh, you killed my boyfriend.
I remember. I watched.
You're the psycho.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was her plan, but it didn't work because Corey outsmarted her, I guess. And then, so Allison's upset. She leaves. Michael then shows up. He gets his mask back. Corey grabs Michael's leg, and Michael snaps Corey's neck. So he's finally dead. And then Lori and Michael finally face off. And this was what they marketed. Like, this was what the movie was marketed for.
Sure.
And even in the trailer, she says, maybe the only way for him to die is if I die too. That line is not said in the movie.
Yeah, it was a
That's
little bit
the
of
main
a
tag. That was the tag for the trailer for this movie. Mm-hmm. And they're teasing this epic face-off, and this face-off was such a letdown.
Yeah, it was a little.
It only lasted a couple minutes because most of the movie is about Corey, about this random kid.
Corey and the love interest,
Yeah,
Her trying
Michael
to
tried
get
to put her
away from
hand in the garbage disposal. I thought that would have happened. He did stab her in the ear. She stabbed his hand and then the chest, and then she stabbed both of his hands onto the table so that he's laying on the kitchen table.
Pushed a refrigerator on him.
Pushed a fridge on his legs, and then she unmasks him. She tells him, "I thought you were the boogeyman, but you're just a man who's about to stop breathing," which is not a great line either.
I don't know. That's not a bad line. It's not terrible.
I thought she was going to say, "I thought you were the boogeyman, but I am," and then cut his neck.
Wow,
or slit his neck.
That would have been a boss way.
I thought that would have been way cooler.
Yeah.
So yeah, she slits his throat, but all that does is wake him up. And he grabs her by the throat, and she says, "Do it."
His fingers are in the knife, right?
Yeah.
So he pulls his hand through the knife, and now he has these floppy fingers or whatever.
And his hand
he's
somehow still
choking
works,
her.
though.
Yeah, still choking her, even though his hands are completely separated.
So she says, "Do it," which if she would have said the line from the trailer, it would have kind of made sense. I was like, wait, is he going to choke her out and then he's going to die so that they die together because he's bleeding out? But that's not what happens. Allison forgives her grandmother in 5 minutes. She comes back. And, I guess it's because the cop was like, "Hey, your grandmother's going to kill herself." And she's like, "Oh, okay." So
Right. Yeah. She was getting towards the what was that? Where they just had all those brutal murders.
Yeah.
But it was on fire. And that's when the sheriff called, "Hey, your grandma said she was going to commit suicide." She's like, "I got to go turn back around and go save her."
So she saves her grandma. She breaks Michael's arm. I guess they teach that in nursing school, how to break an arm.
Probably.
And then Lori slits Michael's wrists and holds his hand.
That was a little bit touching.
As
a
he
kind of
bleeds
a
out.
sweet moment. Like,
I don't know why she would hold his hand.
we're going to...
Unless that was just to squeeze more blood out.
Maybe. Or maybe she's like, I want to take you to the next life. I want to be there for your final moments. It was kind of a touching moment.
So the cops show up. they tie Michael to the top of a police car and parade him around the town to show everyone that Michael's dead. We could all move on now.
That's so weird.
And then they drive to the junkyard, and Laurie rolls him into a shredder. And I was like, oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be so cool. Meanwhile, Josh is covering his eyes.
Fuck yeah, terrifying.
And I watch it, and I'm like, okay, Josh, I'm going to rewind it because you have to see how bad this looks.
That was pretty bad. Not
and
terrifying.
It looked like they filmed it in 1975 or whatever the first movie came out because it was just claymation.
Yeah.
They made a tiny claymation doll and threw it in a shredder. I was like, I guess they were doing that just to be like, oh, look, it's because the original's from the 70s or whatever, or the 80s. I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't know why they did it. It was terrible.
It looked really dumb. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. And then it was just like fucking clay,
And then the movie just ends.
Laurie finishes her book, and then the old cop Frank is like, hey, let's sit on this porch together. They have a little moment.
I kind of want to finish going to those cherry blossoms. Let's fuck.
Let's fuck. I thought, because we saw this movie after, like, I heard from some of you fans, like, yeah, they went in a different direction that no one expected or wanted. And I thought that was going to be like that, Corey would survive. He's going to continue the legacy of Michael. Then because I was just worried about the ending because of what all the fans said, I was like, oh God, is Allison going to be the new serial killer? But thankfully they did not go in that direction. That would have been worse.
So I'm new to all these Halloween movies. So is it safe to say this Mike Myers character is dead?
No, look.
He'll be half man next time?
Give it 10 years, maybe even 5. There'll be a new Halloween reboot. They've rebooted this franchise so many fucking times.
They put the wrong man in the shredder type of thing?
No. It'll just start over.
Oh, someone else's, oddly enough, Michael Myers.
Sure. Just like they're rebooting James Bond.
Okay.
It's
amazing how they can find all these masks.
Well, yeah, it's William Shatner. No, that's the real twist. William Shatner killed all these people.
Maybe he should be the next Michael.
So what would you rate this out of 10?
3, 4?
I don't think it was that bad.
I'm not much of a
certainly
horror
wasn't
movie person
great.
Anyways, I didn't find very much of this very interesting. I thought the people trying to fuck each other all the time was kind of dumb.
That's horror movies. Everyone's always trying to fuck.
I guess it just wasn't for me.
I mean, horror movies are teenagers trying to fuck and they get killed. That's what horror movies usually are.
I guess
it's a slasher film.
I thought it was pretty dumb.
Oh, you're pretty dumb. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great. I would say like a 5 or a 6, maybe 5.5 out of 10. I would never see it again.
No, I'll never see it again.
I think the only cool moment is when she faked her suicide and shot him. But
that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
they had me hook, line, and sinker. I thought she blew her brains to bits.
No, that wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, that was.
But all right. Let's do fan questions and comments, and there are a lot.
Oh, geez.
This week because of this movie. A lot of people are angry. So let's go. Josh DiStefano, as a huge Halloween fan, I was disappointed. A lot of these are just like their own reviews.
Okay.
Bobby the Mark Soydam, as a huge fan of the Halloween franchise, I was so let down. Did anybody else feel this way? I'll be honest, I'd rather watch this one than Halloween Kills. But again, I'm not a big Halloween movie fan.
You know what? I kind of thought that this was going to be scarier. I wasn't very scared. So, I mean, as a scary movie, I was kind of let down myself. But I'm kind of happy. So then I don't think this is going to give me any...
You still stained my shirt.
Shut up. I don't think this is going to give me any nightmares. So I'm happy about that.
Bobby Cox, not a question, but I just want to say I'm sorry you had to watch this movie.
Oh, thank you.
Nathan Bain, what the fuck was that movie?
I have no clue.
Nathan Smythe, with this being the end of the Halloween trilogy, do you see them making another one? Yes, I do. At some point, it'll happen.
Apparently, just the name is something that makes money. Halloween.
Jason Voight, did they not think to kill him this way 44 years ago? Apparently not.
No.
St. Lopez. So Michael Myers does all these crazy feats of strength, the murders, half the town, pick people up with one hand, but this nerdy kid that's just been getting bullied just hands him his ass and takes his mask. Josh, what's your theory on how that happened?
My theory, like I said, is I think he transferred way too much serial killer power into him. You know, I think that's what it was. He made that nerd. You know.
Yeah. So Jake Baker reviewed the trilogy. He said the first Halloween, of this trilogy that came out in 2018. He said great. Halloween Kills, really good. And then Halloween Ends, She-Hulk levels of bad at certain points, but otherwise not the worst movie in the franchise. That would be Resurrection. And then he says, spell Resurrection, Josh.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I will say, I think I would rather watch Halloween Ends than I would watch She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, yeah, I would. Yeah, She-Hulk's worse.
Yeah,
for
She-Hulk
sure.
is worse.
And yeah, I really didn't like Halloween Kills, Jake. Sorry, but then again, I'm not a big fan of these movies anyway. Alejandro Bautista, the Corey Cunningham movie featuring Michael Myers. That's true. Yeah.
Apparently, yeah.
Mills, Halloween Ends was trash. I liked Halloween Kills much more. Rob Zombie's first Halloween is still the best Halloween. That's right.
Rob Zombie made
one.
the first one?
No.
Oh.
No. Rob Zombie did make a Halloween movie. I think he made multiple. He's saying his first Halloween
With
movie.
this Mike Myers character?
It's all Mike Myers.
I don't know anything about this universe. I have no clue.
Universe. It's not a universe.
Is it? I don't fucking know.
But you know that Mike Myers is the bad guy. You know that much.
Yeah, the one in...
Friday the 13th, Jason's the villain. Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy Krueger is the villain. You know who the villain is of each franchise. It's Michael Myers in Halloween.
Well, now...
just stop. You're not helping yourself.
Now I'm kind of confused because I guess I always thought that... Are they all... They're not all in the same universe then, right? The guy in the hockey mask, that's different than this guy in the William Shatner mask,
People
right?
are going to hate you. You do not do any help. You do not help yourself.
I'm trying to learn.
It's different. Yes.
Different? Okay.
How are they the same? They wear different masks. They're in different movies.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he picks up different masks as he goes along the way.
Jesus, Josh. No? Oh, there's going to be more. I fucking hate Josh.
So it's not...
You do it to yourself. You do this yourself.
So it is not the same universe.
Not the same.
Got it.
This is not the MCU. It's not fucking Multiverse of Madness.
It's the Halloween EU? I don't know. That was terrible.
That was so fucking bad.
Come back to me.
No, we won't, actually. The Rizzler at 3 a.m. You're solo in a cabin in some remote forest area. You hear some fucked up shit and wake up. Who would you rather deal with? Michael Myers, Jason, Chucky from Child's Play, or the girl from The Ring? I would say Chucky because he's a fucking doll.
He's a doll. But
Josh, according to him, Michael Myers and Jason are the same person.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, man, that's a tough one. That's a toughie. I have no answer.
Yeah, Chucky's a doll. Joey Cage, fuck that Halloween movie. That shit was super disappointing. Nick Ryder, don't have a question. I was at the game. Go Jets. That's right. Thank you. Carlos Ramirez, I'm sure this movie was toned down so Josh could watch it. I blame him for the movie being meh, but I still liked it. Halloween Kills is my favorite of the entire franchise.
It was not toned down. There were at least 3 points where I had to cover my eyes and not watch because it was a little bit too gory for good old Josh.
We already did that. Michael Scarn, that movie was fucking awful. I don't understand why they decided to focus on some wannabe Michael Myers instead of the man himself, considering this was technically the ending of the 1978 story. You would think Mike would be on screen longer than 20 fucking minutes, and you would think the story would have focused more on him and Laurie. I agree with that. The only interaction they had was at the end of the movie, and it only lasted like 5 minutes.
I'm asking an honest question here. Honest question.
Uh-huh.
You said there's been tons of these Halloween movies, right?
Yes.
Has Jamie Lee Curtis been in all of them?
No.
Okay.
No. They made so many in between, and then when they started this new franchise, they said, okay, all those other sequels don't count. Like, where this first of the new trilogy is the first sequel. Like, they didn't count any of those other movies.
This Halloween world sounds a lot it sounds as confusing as the Terminator world.
It's Terminator, because when they made the last Terminator movie, they said, no, the Christian Bale one and the reboot one and even Terminator 3 don't count.
So confused. Okay, so I'm still waiting for my Terminator 3 movie that connects with the first two.
No. Pop Culture Junkie, in the last couple of weeks, I watched I watched Rob Zombie's Munsters, She-Hulk, and now Halloween Ends. I thought some of this would have been great to watch around the Halloween season. Instead, it's absolute garbage. Can you guys recommend anything good to watch while we are still in October? P.S. When will you be reviewing Andor? Holy shit, that show has been fucking awesome. I still haven't watched it. I'll check it out at some point. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, now that we're She-Hulkless, I think Andor is something we should start checking out soon. For sure.
Yeah, that's true. Other movies to watch? What? Just because it's October, like horror movies? I don't know.
I'm not the man for this one.
I would say
if you want really scary movies,
from Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh yeah. I've been wanting to check that one out too.
Alan Kimmett. So for Halloween Ends, is it inferred that Michael is supernatural, that he can transfer his power to someone else and get his power from killing other people? Also, how is it he's such a bitch that last 2 minutes in the movie when he killed a crowd at the end of the last Halloween movie with ease? Yes, I agree. Well, doesn't really make much sense.
He's 4 years older now.
Oh, sure.
And he's been living in a sewer. He obviously is probably malnourished.
Yeah. Luis Vasquez, hey guys, just wanted to give my review for the movie I saw this week, Terrifier 2. This movie's about a demon clown that kills people in the most brutal and violent way possible, and it's fucking awesome. It's a tribute to classic 80s slasher films, and it's a solid 8.25 out of 10. That's very specific. FYI, there's a small cameo of the GOAT himself, Chris Jericho. Holy
Lord.
shit, is this a new movie?
Sounds like something y'all should check out on a Patreon episode for What's Wrong with Wrestling.
Maybe. Jimmy Russell, movie was what a shame to end Jamie Lee Curtis's legacy on that. The Halloween franchise has some pretty remarkable and memorable death scenes. What is Josh and yours favorite death or kill scenes in any movie in general? Doesn't have to be horror. Oh my God.
TV or movie?
Sure.
The most memorable for me is obviously...
I know what he's going to say. He's going to say Die Hard.
Well, no.
Oh.
I was going to say there's two that stand out. Obviously, the death to Gus in Breaking Bad. Gus's death. And then the death to King Joffrey in Game of Thrones. Those are two death scenes that stand out to me.
I'll just say the move, like basically the end of Kill Bill 2 and the end of Django Unchained are two that I love a lot.
Oh, Django.
There's a lot of, there's a lot of good Arnold movies that have some good death scenes as well, but I don't really want to spoil anything.
Sure.
I know they're old, but still, I don't want to spoil some of my favorite movies.
Yeah, don't spoil Kill Bill for me, Andrew.
We have to watch that. That's going to be one of the first fucking movies we watch and review on this show that when we don't have a movie coming out that week.
But it's super gory, right?
Sure. Omar, top 5 shitty horror characters: Jason, Michael, Freddy, Pinhead, Ghostface. He doesn't like them? Top 5 shittiest? P.S. I mean, that's like, those are the most famous ones. P.S. I actually like Chucky because I think those movies are the most entertaining. Not Seed of Chucky, that was stupid. Like the original ones.
Sure.
The new show looks terrible. Jason Deerham, you guys fucked my joke a few weeks ago and took it very seriously and got really pissed at it. It was, if The Rock's ex-wife is now his manager, does that mean he has to give her 60% of his earnings, 50% for divorce, and 10% manager fees? Your answer was no manager gets paid that much. Well, okay, yeah.
Not me, Justin.
Sure. Antonio Brown. Oh, wow. I have a layover at DFW for 8 hours. What should I do?
What's he doing in Dallas? That's what I want to know.
Wow.
You got a layover in Dallas for 8 hours. I mean, I guess go see the spot where they killed John Kennedy. I don't know if you can get back to DFW and see that in enough time.
Have you done that?
Yeah, it's interesting. They got a big ass X mark where he died
because they're proud of it.
It's so weird.
It's so weird.
It's so weird.
It is so weird.
Yes. Look, that's where a president.
That's where we did it. What? What'd you say? Hey, stand on that X for a minute there, Bal. I'll be right back.
But it's weird, like cars always driving by it and stuff like that. I'd like to think you would I don't know, make a new road or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Rampager, top 4 overrated actors / actresses. I don't know.
Top 4?
These are like things we need to see ahead of time.
Yeah, in advance. Trying to think of one off top of my head.
Yeah. I mean, George Clooney. Again, I like him in From Dusk Till Dawn. That's about anything I've ever liked him in. I think he underacts way too much.
It hasn't really been anything of recent.
Bill Capri, not a question, but man, I wish Michael Myers had more kills and on-screen time. That build-up from Halloween Kills was so wasted. Yeah, agreed.
I don't know. He killed 2 people.
Yes. Jonathan Ramos, Halloween Ends was 2 movies that could have worked separately, but it is what it is. I liked it for what it was, but it could have been done better. Off topic, since Eric pushed out of the 1-chip challenge, could Josh be convinced to do it? I think we already went there, and the answer was no.
The answer was it would take a phone number to a very attractive lady.
That was it.
Yeah.
So there you go. That is all for fan questions. Yep, that's it. So everyone seemed to hate the movie.
Just so everyone had the same opinion as Josh. That's great. Interesting.
I didn't necessarily like it either.
Interesting. You gave it a 5.5. I said it was
That's not good. That's not a good rating.
That's average. 5.5?
No, that's not a good rating. That's a failing grade.
It's failing for sure.
So yeah, make sure you subscribe to our podcast wherever you're viewing us. You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel, Hollywood Hogwash Pod. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Hollywood Hog Pod. And next week, it's a big one. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in Black Adam. So yeah, I'm excited.